Hi students, welcome to yet another session of my class. We are discussing poem Language This Woman by Yasmin Gunatan. Let us continue the poem. First of all, I read the lines, then I will explain you. No more an empressed daughter with a bribe locked in her purse. The clerks, the merchants, and their hireling tribe long since dispersed. Gone the protectors who, while pampering her, lined their own coffers. Her menfolk falter in a far country, their vigour ended. Yes. Here in this poem, we know that she is discussing, our narrator, poet is discussing about the qualities of English language, and she gave woman image to English language. That is, she used here one metaphor, that is woman, to represent language, especially English language. And she wrote in English, that is, a poet, she wrote this particular poem in English to defend English language. And here, throughout the poem, she is trying to support English language by writing in English. No more an empressed daughter with a bribe locked in her purse. The clerks, the merchants, and their hireling tribe long since dispersed. She is no longer an honorable lady if she has unfaithful qualities. Yes, she is telling that no more an empressed daughter with a bribe locked in her purse. She is no longer an honorable lady if she has unfaithful qualities. That means at present still she is an honorable lady. She is an honorable language all over the world because she has no such unfaithful qualities. The unfaithful, opportunist people were given up long ago. The clerks, the merchants, and their hireling tribe long since dispersed. Such unfaithful, opportunist people like clerks, merchants, and their hireling tribe all were given up long ago. They who appeared as her protectors and who, while pampering her, collected wealth are gone now. Yes, that is her masters or her protectors. Gone the protectors who, while pampering her, once they pampered her, they protected her, and at present, yes, they who appeared as her protectors and who, while pampering her, collected wealth are gone now. Yes, in the previous stanza, we see that. Yes, he has, she has some protection, that is the protection of what? The prestigious behavior of the imperial touch. That is, she was the language of the colonizers, and she got that privilege throughout her life, that is in the earlier period. At present, yes, they who appeared as her protectors and who, while pampering her, collected wealth are gone now. They dispersed from this land. Her menfolk falter in a far country, their vigor entered. Yes, those men are losing their energy in a distant country. Her protectors, her masters, once they pampered her, they protected her, and she has a privilege of that prestigious behavior of, yes, imperial theme, and she lost everything at present. Those men are losing their energy, their vigor entered. Those men are losing their energy in a distant country. They have no more strength. Her menfolk falter in a far country, their vigor entered. She wanders here alone and unbefriended herself at last, and nothing else to offer. Yes, her menfolk, they have no more strength, and she is just wandering here. Yes, at present she is just wandering here all by herself. Now she is alone here without any friends and unbefriended without any friends. Now she has nothing else to give but her heart. Yes, She wanders here alone and unbefriended herself at last, and nothing else to offer. Yes, she has nothing else to give but only her heart. So do not call her slut and alien. Slut in the sense prostitute or a woman with low standards of cleanliness, etc. That is the meaning of the word slut. So do not call her slut. So do not call her an undisciplined woman and an outsider, an alien. You call those names because of your jealousy. Yes, you so do not call her derogatory names or derogatory words. Don't insult her and don't use, yes, such types of words towards her, and don't consider her as an outsider. Names born of envy and you on misuse. You call those names because of your envy, because of your jealousy, and it is your misuse of words that whisper how desire in secret runs. She has been, what those words now mean is secret desires. What those words, that slut or alien or that derogatory words, what those words now mean is secret desires. And she has non-greatness, born illustrious sons. Yes, she has been a great lady. She has non-greatness. That means she has been a great lady. She comes from a respectable generations, born illustrious sons. Her mind's well stored, her lovely nature's rich. She has been a great lady and she comes from respectable generations. She is rich in her mind and has a lovely nature. Her mind is, she is rich in her mind and has a lovely nature. Now that her unsuitable old connections are over, her mind's well stored. That is, her mind is full of loveliness and her lovely nature's rich. That is, she comes from respectable generations. She is rich in her mind and has a lovely nature too. Filled with these splendid warm surprises which now the distorting old connections done, with her to be your mistress and my muse. Yes, now at present that her unsuitable old connections are over. Yes, now Sri Lanka is free from the colonizers. Your old connection, now that her unsuitable old connections are over, she is full of these excellent warm qualities, filled with these splendid warm surprises, which now the distorting old connections done. Yes, your unsuitable old connections, that is your connection with the Britishers, that was over. And she is full of these excellent warm qualities and fit her to be your mistress and my muse. And she is suitable, yes, to be your bride. She is suitable. She is suitable to be your bride, your mistress, and she is my goodness and my muse also. We can accept her as, yes, you can accept her as your bride, and she is my goodness. That is poet's goodness. And here the poet used the word mistress. The word has two meanings here. First meaning is a woman who is in a position of authority. And the second meaning is a woman has an illicit affair with a married man. So here the poet used the word in a positive sense, that is in the first sense, that a woman who is in a position of authority. So fit her to be your mistress. She is eligible as, or she is suitable to be your bride, or she is eligible as a woman who is in a position of authority, because she is filled with all the splendid qualities, all the warm splendid surprises, and her unsuitable old connections are over. And she is full of these excellent warm qualities. So it is she is suitable to be your bride, or she is suitable to be your authority. And moreover, I consider her as my goodness or my muse. So, so with the help of this particular poem, she is trying to defend English language. The present state of language is brought out. When the Language Act was passed in 1956, making Sinhala the official language of Sri Lanka, English language had no chance. That is the background of this particular poem. And English language had no chance or no place in Sri Lanka. And this particular poem is a challenging reaction to the attack launched by the pseudo-nationalists. That is, some of the Sinhalese writers, they tried to attack English language using derogatory words and tried to insult her. And this poem is a challenging reaction to the attack launched by the pseudo-nationalists. And this takes us to the post-independent political situation of Sri Lanka. Yes, from this we can understand the post-independent political situation of that is after independence. Post-independent in the sense after the independence. So this poem, from all these situations, this takes us, we readers, to the post-independent political situation of Sri Lanka, which attempted to depose the status of English from the current situation of dominance. Yes, after after the independence of Sri Lanka, yes, some pseudo-nationalists, they tried to depose the status of English language from the current situation of dominance. They tried to insult her. And the poet confronts these ideals, these patriotic ideals, which insist on the importance of the vernacular. And this Language Act signals the fall of English from its position of authority. Ignoring a language in a community is a way to invisible a race. Ignoring a language in a community means it is a way to invisible a race. This means disposition and loss of identity for some people. She belonged to a minority group. I already told you in the introductory part, this our poet. She belonged to a minority Anglican group that belonged to minority group in the Sri Lanka. And this Language Act signals the fall of English from its position of authority. Yes. And ignoring a language. Here in this poem, we know that these Sinhalese pseudo-nationalists, they try to ignore English language. So ignoring a language in a community is a way to invisible a race. And this means disposition and loss of identity for some people. But it was the opposite of the Sinhala speaking majority who were marginalized during colonization. This was the background of this particular poem. But this disposition, it was the opposite of the Sinhala speaking majority, Sinhala writers or Sinhala speaking majority who were once they were marginalized by the Britishers, who were marginalized during colonization. And our poet Yasmin Gunardan protests as a voice of the subaltern. Here, she is raising her voice against this disposition. And it is considered as a voice of subaltern. Subaltern in the sense means we can consider her as a marginalized person. Here, she belonged to that minority group within that country. So she protests as a voice of subaltern, the oppressed or the marginalized. As an affected one, she raises up the issue in her poetry. Yes, she is considered herself as a marginalized one, as an affected one. She raises up the voice. She raises up the issue in her poetry, and she is adamant about the greatness of her language. She strongly defends the qualities and the potential of English language by emphasizing all the positive qualities of English language. She is adamant about the greatness of her language, defending its place and value of English language. With the help of this particular point, she is writing in English to defend English language, and she upheld the potential and vastness of English language. This poem we can consider as a lover's reply. That is, she loves her. This poem is a lover's reply, which relates to a central metaphor. Or metaphor here, metaphor that she has given woman image to particular language. So this poem can considered as a lover's reply, which relates to a central metaphor. And moreover, Yasmin Gunatan herself claims this poem was written out of irritation. Yes, in the introductory part itself, she told that this poem, yes, she wrote this particular poem, or she herself claims this poem was written out of irritation at the continual denigration of English by Sinhala writers who had no conception of its range. This was a feature of the literary context. And the poetess makes an eloquent case for the English language. And here in this particular poem, the narrator assumes the role of a lover. That is, the poet herself considered as a lover who is in love with the language or the woman. And in reality, the narrator functions more as a lover. The richness of expression and the personal relationship of the poet with the language may not be fully acceptable to the average reader. So these are the main points that we discussed in this particular poem. This is the background of this particular poem. The subject matter or the inner theme that is depicted, we can consider it as a lover's reply. I think all of you understand this poem. There is a homework for you, and the homework is write a critical appreciation of the poem This Language, This Woman by Yasmin Gunatan. Write your homework and send back to me. Thank you. Have a nice day. See you again.